Welcome to UnScripted. Quick note before we begin. The cast and crew will accept zero responsibility or liability for any decisions that listeners make after listening to us, be that good or otherwise. Honestly, people, do not take life advice from us, as we are not experts in anything useful. We're simply here to share our opinions and hopefully provoke thought and not wrath. And of course, if we hurt your feelings, that will be addressed at some point in life. But hopefully today is not that day. So listen responsibly and enjoy.
Yeah, welcome ones and ones to UnScripted.
It's a tape?
It's a tape, guys, and I hear man. I am your host, Koffy, and across from me this time is not international reggae dancehall superstar because he is off being an international reggae dancehall superstar in other countries. So Craig is off because I don't know, show off for go on and money off for make. It's more estate off for bill and so. But Garth Williams, the pressure off a TVJ, can tell you today was a TVJ.
No, this is not because of TVJ.
The man already acquired the wealth.
Yeah, I mean, and he displays it openly. And that's what I like with him. He just say, yo, I'm rich and so what? When you can't do nothing about it, it's beautiful.
Financially flamboyant.
No, definitely not.
For us on this side of the divide, well, for me, on this side of the divide, it is. You're money now. If I tell you how fee money now, man. It is magnificent.
I put it to you that my accumulation of wealth is dwarfed by both of you.
That's very nice of you. Kind of it.
Humility.
No, I'm being serious.
Humility.
I'm being serious.
All right.
International. I mean, world famous TV host Garth Williams.
Around the world.
The man who runs social media every minute. We see the next video filter.
Oh God.
Him same one. Oh God himself.
Yeah.
Welcome my
Bad man all the while.
And to my right, the man who embraced me somehow seemed longer than Hope Road.
Poor and bossy.
What am I saying?
Old Hope Road.
Both of them. Both of them combined. Yeah, what they must say? Because, by the way, guys, this is the great Rodney, illustrious Rodney Campbell.
Respect.
So the other day we were up on the socials.
What you name? You're not to the people that
I already introduced myself. I'm the host, Koffy.
Yeah, but you know, no look at
I just want to tell you from another one part.
The girl them tea.
Yeah, that's it.
Alright.
That's
Seriously.
it. We don't have special.
Bitter.
However,
Yeah.
I went on the socials recently just to see what going on, all the people who might receive the show. We have a video on TikTok that is over 120,000 views. It just a shot.
That's the one with the songs?
I think so. I think that's the one.
Yeah.
But the comments.
Well, the tape song we're never there, but carry on.
Sir.
No, carry on.
We leave that alone.
We're not getting distracted. Go ahead.
Honestly,
Comments.
we didn't think it really fit your social liking though. You know. We decided we were going to have a quiz on National Geographic, and that would be a little bit more of your street. Sorry, highway.
Match your repertoire.
Yeah.
We can tell him to fuck off. We can do that.
Please,
You
open.
could.
Open.
You could.
Alright.
Open.
I won't.
Yeah.
So, go on this video.
You cerebral.
Thousands of comments. Majority of them burn out Rodney because I went into glory. And
Still,
bro,
that's Jesus.
I keep learning more and more about Rodney from the comments. Because first of all, I never know him as savage.
Pause. You learn more about people's opinion of Rodney.
I mean, fine.
Because what I'm saying not necessarily make you know
No,
about him.
But it opened my eyes to some things that he did in his past that I was unaware of. I.e. Savage. I had no idea he was a character called Savage.
Right.
I didn't remember that this is the same person from Glory to Gloriana because I did watch Glory to Gloriana.
Yeah.
Right.
But for somehow, I'm not one of them people that will get emotionally invested, so I'm not going to hate the character. I'm going to say, hey, Rodney, I'll catch you.
I've suffered. I've been given a lot of love, but I have physically suffered because of people who...
They can't separate the character
As my
from
son Alex
the
said,
person.
Them coming like grandma or what soap opera.
Yeah.
Them violent towards the TV and they don't separate.
The character from the actor.
No, I've had somebody jump on me. Right. After them smiling me very nicely just to ascertain who I am. Is you just a... Yeah man, yeah. jump on me, tear up my clothes, scratch me. Security, I pull them off.
That happened as well, as I mentioned, soap opera too. I don't know if you remember one
was
in
weird.
Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
Right. You remember Stefano?
We get that. So.
He was attacked in New York, you know.
Stefano was a dirty man still. I mean,
the
theory is if you can elicit that from a viewing public, the love to hate,
right,
you have achieved the true villainosity.
I'll take it. I mean, mission accomplished. I guess they played the role well enough that people aren't able to separate the role from the...
So there's a phrase for it. Since you don't have me as a nerd, there's a phrase for it. I'm just play
right. Have you as a nerd. You decided you want the world to think you and your glasses nerdified you.
Guys, your nerddom dwarfs my nerddom, which is incredible. So please continue.
So it's a term for it called parasocial relationship. You must know about that. Parasocial relationship.
Hold on. Oh, my phone at charge.
We're gonna put the definition, but
parasocial relationship is just where like people form connections or relationships with people on TV or in this age like social media.
Mm-hmm.
So whether from a movie, reading the news as a journalist, reporter, whatever it is, them feel like them have a connection to you, whether negative or positive.
There are people who think...
There are people who love you, I have people
there are people who watch TV and have come to the conclusion that Garth is mild-mannered, intellectually
astute,
oceanic.
Hey, you see that?
Right?
You see that? Great minds.
That kind of thing. And I say,
if only they knew.
Yeah.
How depraved he was.
I really wasn't going to go there with it. I'm just saying to you that.
How much of a villain he can be.
Me, villain?
If we were making one of those really scary movies, Garth would be the
unsuspecting villain. Don't know that trick all always say, yo, him is this wonderful person.
The professor in the basement.
Who pull the strings.
No.
I am the
you
plot
can
twist.
see it now. Bone and blood are flying, I must say.
Plot twist.
Yeah, man, I am the plot twist.
Got this whole time.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, anything going on over the Labor Day weekend and I do nothing special, anything you want to mention?
Labor.
You labored. How did you do it?
I never said I labored. You ask anything going on, I'm say.
Hey.
I see what you did there. Yeah.
At that time of year.
What I mean is,
Papi, hey, I live on the 5th floor.
My friend.
I don't live here.
I will do sports day, my friend, you know.
Yeah.
No orange house, no green house, my friend.
I live on the 5th floor. I don't live here.
Just did some work with the council and member of parliament.
So you go around the labor and spruce up people place and whitewash to sidewalk and everything like.
Painted a couple of.
He walked there.
Speed bumps.
Amplified his TV presence by being seen as industrious and not just illustrious.
And improved the presence of the member of parliament. And you see you boy contributing. You see that? Team will make the dream work. No, go give you applause.
Hey. Every support. And in your community.
When you get to Venezuela, you call me Pedro.
That's good. I mean, labor every day of the week. So that day they must sleep, your friend. Yeah, that. Plug out, sleep for extra few hours.
No, what's new really though?
But you hear me say every day is Labor Day. So you know.
Yeah,
so you understand.
He said it.
Yeah. That's absolutely right. But what do you have to discuss a topic?
Yeah, absolutely.
A topic.
And in this case, we decided for kind of try to help women understand a little bit more about us. Because I think more time...
Be a little more specific when they say us.
Men.
Okay. No, because I could have us as a panel.
No. I'm trying to help women understand a little bit more about men.
So the man dissect the context.
Yeah. And I appreciate that's why we need God in it. That's why we need God more time.
Yeah. Like I say, I probably have some women out there watching right now.
Pythagoras.
I want to know about you individually.
You know?
But in this case, we're trying to make women get a view into what a phrase that many of them would have heard in their life. probably several times throughout their lives, them would have hear, you know, I'm not ready for a relationship.
Yeah.
And
A phrase that they always use with an understood meaning, and a phrase that we use that they reject for any meaning it might have.
Right, because through some insecurity of theirs, it would probably mean that we're conjuring up an excuse to tell them that, you know what, I don't want to deal with you.
Right.
You're not the one for me.
You know what I mean when I tell a woman that the second thing that got through her mind, how could you not be ready for a relationship with
me?
Me.
Like, yeah, they'll take it personal.
You realize, and the next thing should I tell you, which she might tell you, you know how many people out there would just drop at the opportunity. Yeah, bitch.
Yeah, man, I understand.
Like the elevator.
I mean, one, in most instances, you know, what they don't understand is I would like to drop at the opportunity too. But I can't afford to for different reasons. Be it when I'm gonna feel like I have enough money. Because I mean, that's something where women understand. So men, well, the ones with ambition, we're really in a situation where we're trying to build something for ourselves and ultimately them. But if it means that, yo, I have to sacrifice the amount of time I'm going to spend at work, the amount of the relationships I can build, because sometimes I need to network and sometimes I need to friend up to a woman too. I know say you now can deal with that.
Man build legacy, you know. Woman build luxury, you know.
You don't know that, brother, but you know what they need to build luxury.
So two different, so them not understand how let's build together. It's a different thing you are dealing with, you know, because how you see this relationship and I tell you I'm not ready. You don't understand. What you are building is probably, some elements of it is probably what I'm thinking about. But that's not what I'm building.
Yeah.
It's like you put two kids in a kindergarten with building blocks. They might be working on the same thing. But if them have two different ideas about them building, one build a strange thing and the other one start build and go on and you say, what is? Him understand him vision.
And they're not willing to accept that sometimes my vision of right now, you can't fit in it no way, no how. So it has nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do with me. And me in a position where I can say, yo, what I need right now is space to work. What I need right now is to be able to do what I need to do without having to worry about somebody around you, so I can take it personal when I build me.
And supportive don't mean that at all times I hold your hand and you hold mine. Supportive can really be.
I have to let you go make your
No, just sit down now. Your greatest support sometimes is silence.
No, that's so true. I mean, I think when we say it, right, it is literally what we mean. There is no reading between the lines. It's not cryptic. It's very straightforward. We are not ready. I am not ready for a relationship. Now, as you point out already, it could be something some women may take it personally. As well they should, because in some instances, it is the statement from the man is incomplete. I'm not ready for a relationship with you. You know? So it's, I'm not ready for a relationship.
Yeah, with you.
That.
With you is really what appears to be the dagger and the incomplete.
Right.
Because I'm not ready for a relationship with you can end at this time. Or it can end because and at this time, so where I say some other time, why some other time? Or because, and then still the first thing is,
so
you think, well, the need for
because you always wear that same front tonight till they come out of bed at night time. Women don't love it.
Whoa, bro. Like, what's going on?
Hypothetically speaking, I've never been into it.
So I'm not ready for a relationship. That.
You ever wonder how them paint this wall?
No.
Oh, okay.
You wondered?
Okay.
I never wondered.
Frowns in 90.
No, don't mention it.
No. You miss the offensive part in that. 90.
Oh, 90 offensive part? I think I frowns it.
Bro, who in this day and age
No, man, Nike
is
just...
stepping into bed with this 90?
No, man, Nike has sleepwear, man. But you don't know...
The fact say me in a structure. If you go sleep with somebody who is appearing in a 90, make me
Bro,
wonder.
Nike a shot for that going, you know.
No, bro, that's even worse, bro.
I slip.
Yeah, but we don't know.
Yeah, stop coming baby.
We don't know. Just remember
Golden age.
Check out the slip.
Just remember that Koffy.
My friend, they with one of the golden girls.
Right? Just remember, say Koffy is something where various age groups will drink. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Some of them teeth in a glass. No, that's why I'm not in a. You're not ready for a relationship with somebody who has soaked them teeth in a glass.
Yeah, they don't get it.
Yeah, no, but I'm not ready for a relationship. That it could be emotional. It could be emotional reasons, right? It could be practical reasons. It could be preferential reasons.
Academic reasons.
That's preferential.
Well,
no, right now I'm going for this degree.
Right, no, which fall into the same preferential because are practical because you're doing this particular thing in your life now, and women require attention, right, and time, which are two different things, right? And
some more than others,
right? Yeah, but
at varying degrees.
At varying degrees,
it's a requirement, regardless.
But attention and time.
So does your dog.
Exactly.
For sure. You understand me?
Or if you have a pet fish,
and
then
then
you really just throw feed your pet fish every now and again. You don't play with your pet fish, you don't have to walk it.
Right.
Bro, you know what's that? No, you go right ahead.
Alright, cool, thanks.
Frowns in 90 and a pet fish. And a pet fish. You see where this going, right? Okay. Yeah. Him not ready for a lot of things. But what continue?
No, Koffy with him 2 studio album. Frowns in 90.
Pet fish. Yeah.
Right.
Fish in 90.
Yeah. But the reasons may vary because when you talk about pursuing a degree, right, or a career, right, it could be a career switch where you move from one particular discipline into another. It could be a new role that you're taking on. It could be as you mentioned, like degree and them kind of thing. So
moving from employee to entrepreneurship.
Yeah, exactly.
God,
those things, right? So it could be those things, and then you are unable, or you recognize that you may have a challenge in terms of the amount of bandwidth you have to take on a relationship, you know. And if you don't have it, and decide to you still have to pursue the relationship, and then you falling short of what she requires in terms of time and available attention, and them way there, then are problems.
But are you wrong? Or is it right that you analyze the early part of a relationship? Because remember, no, you're not ready for a relationship can mean the next step.
Yeah.
So is it a better idea that you look down the road and say, is this somebody who, based on where we've been thus far, who can understand and relate to I might need to not have this now, to not move to this now. Right? We as man, you know, anytime a man tell you say, take it slow, or anytime a man tell you about right now not so ready, that's fine. We always find little ways to say, I'm here for you. Yeah, man. I'll be there.
But they hold it.
Is it important for us with these egos that we generally generate to analyze that kind of woman early who might say the equivalent. Yeah, okay. I appreciate the fact that you've brought this up front, and you say you're not ready now. I'm not going anywhere.
I've seen where
Them not do it. Stop it.
All right. Well, me personally, me agree with you in terms of a general
thing. Yeah.
Because I know examples in my own family as well of women who have waited until the timing was right for proceeding with one of my uncles. You understand me? Uncles, really. You understand? So, me see them thing there in my own life. But generally, it not really happen. And I do suppose this was, I'm not assuming here, this was definitely a time before we are in the age where we are now, where these little black mirrors, you can gain a wider cross-section of opinions.
Options.
And well, not even options, but just opinions in terms of how women think. You know, because you have a lot of influencers. I mean, I use the term.
And the opinions help to create.
You mean not the
many options.
Not the influencers who shake them body, but the one who actually have a brain and use it.
Right, well, thought leaders. I mean, no, because remember,
because what happens?
Did he just create a whole thing for us to pursue one day? Who's that?
We should, because majority of the people who them claim right now on social media are influencers. Shake them body.
Show you what
that make your ideas
well,
that
alright, so
where I sit.
Okay, there we go.
Remember to go off topic a little bit, but just remember influence come in a variety of ways.
No man, I understand what you're saying. I'm speaking to the influencers that you're referencing right now in the case that these are the ones who have original ideas and stuff that people can actually...
Or even if it's not original ideas, them must share ideas that have existed, but they might give them opinion on it.
Via a much broader scope now than before.
So, you know, you have people who...
and not to separate the two, because you have a few with them shit them body and them have brilliant ideas.
Exactly. But you know, people then we use like emotional music and the dim lighting and them say some things like, you know, if people make time for the things that they really want to, which is total bullshit.
And that's why I wanted to stick with that's why I wanted to go with original ideas, because what happens is a lot of them are regurgitating things that they've heard in other spaces. But I like the people who can tell you,
no, there's nothing wrong with that.
Their original idea and their own unique feeling and position on certain things. So those are the ones who I value those inputs.
Yeah.
Right.
And those are the ones who kind of make me feel like, yo, we need to help them understand. Say, yo, especially, but they have 2 questions for you a while ago. I'm going to interrupt you. My sincere apologies. Yeah. After you finish, I have 2 questions for you.
No, that's kind of just wrapping the point. I was just following up on something Rodney said. I mean, I know that he was generalizing, and I don't want people out there just a cuss at them phone screen, tablet screen, whatever kind of screen.
Yeah, but nothing goes that.
Yeah, but you still have some simple Susan and some simple Simon out there.
True. And then we miss the point. So
and I'm telling you, I'm not even trying.
Yeah, we don't even consider
to get the simplistic
I have 2 questions
around what I say.
Sure.
So
one of them serious, one of them not so serious. Which one do you understand?
Not so
serious. Go with the not so serious.
Yeah.
So you said uncles.
Right.
In your previous comment.
Yeah.
Was the same woman with multiple uncles, or is multiple women? And
oh.
Cool. That's what I think.
Right.
That's the intro, man.
He didn't say uncle, but
uncles.
I'm not saying.
When him correct him, I say pull up. And the same woman with multiple uncle card. This would make the show nice.
No, this would make that woman
a legend.
Because she got uncles.
There you go.
To understand what I'm going.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's God though, but your second question.
Yeah, my second question is the fact that we're now speaking from this angle of growth and maturity. We are each of us over 40.
Go on, man.
Huh?
You pass 40?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, go on.
Alright, cool. So all of us over 40.
Today in pass 40.
Maybe like I said. So all of us over 40. And we're now in a position where we're mature and we can speak more eloquently and we can more relate a point. So if we were to have a conversation with a woman now, would I say, yo, I'm not ready for a relationship because X, Y, and Z. And we can communicate that. I think previously, if we were to think back to our 20s, when we would have this conversation the most, 20s, early 30s, when we would have the conversation the most with women, would I say, yo, I'm in a position, I don't want a relationship. I don't think we were able to accurately explain.
Swap me for I know.
Oh, I don't think I was in a place where I could accurately explain to these women. And I think they probably left with the wrong impression to think that, oh, it was something wrong with them, but it was just my way of saying, yo, we can't do it right now.
I've always been in a position and an understanding and on a platform to adequately and properly explain it.
But think of the voice. Think of the bass.
No, the fact is, a lot of people could not understand, and probably still today while we're talking about it now, couldn't understand. Because, as you said, a man in his 20s is not supposed to be telling you, according to how they're socialized, how can you say you're not ready for a relationship? That era is the era of, but I'm everything.
Yeah, man, but I was villainized, didn't I? I tell you, yo, remember this one situation where this one girl.
But you for a different reason, bro, because you were clearly not saying you're not ready for a relationship for any other reason than me not hang up the drunkenness, you know.
Yeah, not even it. That wasn't even it. I personally
something there.
Medium things on my
I am a full kitchen, not a one burner.
Previous situation. that was your reason for that one.
No. We're talking about the 20s, where
there's more than that. Actually, in my case, I was coming from, and I tell you about one specific instance. Because I remember, like, the girl, our friend them used to deal with me way out the road, you know. If them see me talk to somebody, them I run go over to them, hey, you don't want nobody. Am I this type of person? Am I that? Am I that? I say, yo, who trouble you? Who hurt you? You know what I mean? But the truth is, our friend them, they feel that way. Because I say, yo, I'm not in that position. I'm not secure the thing that I want to secure it.
Right.
So I can't deal with you and give away you want. I know where you want. Yeah. And I can't give away you want. Because we're me there right now, I build something and that's more focus on.
Right, no.
He was coming to America.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much. Every day.
Yeah.
But something that some men either don't know about themselves or know/recognize, or them not want to admit to anybody but themselves is on the emotional side, right? Because
I'm broken.
No, it's a serious thing.
Yeah.
Because there is lasting trauma.
It's a far difference between I'm broken to I'm broken. I'm broke, you can openly say, why you're not ready?
You're broke. Money.
I'm broken. It's not something man said.
No, I mean, alright, Romain, some of us has been, some men, not necessarily us, but some men.
Koffy. Yeah.
Right? Have gone through trauma. Unbelievable trauma. And yeah, you might have people that, what kind of trauma man can go through? We're not going to get into all of that right now. Yeah. But a lot of trauma. It starts with some simple, quote unquote, simple things.
Paternal
like
trauma.
A youth grew up in a broken home.
Familial problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand? I mean, it's a laundry list of all those types of problems.
Yeah.
Right?
The spectrum wide. Everything can impact.
A youth grew up, this is trauma too, but less so than, say, abuse or witnessing abuse and them with it. But a youth grew up watching father be a womanizer. A youth grew up watching mother, even if not watch, but discover. See?
Say mother.
Don't be like that though.
Many uncles.
Yeah. Right?
Oh, that's the term. Many uncles.
That's right, no, because when we say mother womanizer, you not say nothing.
That was the punishment.
Actually, you see father.
So that then.
Yeah,
that's true. We never hear the dog shit part of me mention the man, but that's what mention the woman.
Like him a carpet, the man then.
No.
Right. So yeah. So
can't dog shit laying the woman them.
Right.
Where the man?
I mean, the two of them.
Many uncles
and many aunties.
Alright.
We even know why you use the soft terms.
Okay.
And them thing they can warp how the youth them grow up and view relationships. It can leave some feeling rather jaded. it can for others be instructional. Where them feel say, I saw it figure.
Bro, the youth will watch or mother. Can't remember. People, I don't business what academics tell you. It's more what children see than what you tell them.
Right.
Facts.
There's a youth who him watch his mother, whether with his father or with men. And every woman when him come across as him get older, him understand one thing. Then if my mother
They do so
put up with this,
right, she should
or
also
not really put up with, but you understand it.
Whatever behavior mommy exhibit.
So how you I try to tell me now say, when me get up and left them thing, I'ma say, yo, deal with it. I saw him see him mother attend to things.
It's instructional.
Now the funny thing is, the woman who not like that, him say, you know, I'm not really ready for you, you know, my girl, car. And it wouldn't be understood automatically that he is so warped because what he's waiting until the day him find not only servile, but almost slave mentality type people who him don't need at any point to give emotion to at all. Yeah. Zero.
You know, just to compliment what you're saying, one of my favorite books in recent times, one of my favorite reads in recent times is based on the life of a brother called Iceberg Slim, who was a pimp, one of the most recognized pimps in the US. You know, Iceberg Slim became a pimp because of the things we see mother do to men. Think about that, you know. Your mother used to style man, chat them, take them money, all kind of thing. All in life him just sit down and watch this.
Right.
And him reach a point where that growing up and watching this, the other thing said him expect
it normalized.
Brother, the man.
In his mind it normalized.
No, but he started
formalized.
He started
and then him
that made him derive value. So him said, alright, you only good for one thing. For use your body and take things from man. So me I gonna use you to make you use your body and take things from man and carry it come give me. Because that's all him see them as. That's the only that's to him just say a value upon them, a price, a length of time, and him use mileage and some terms to describe them. And brother, when we think about it, when you said that a while ago, it show you. So sometimes everybody's circumstance determine how them interpret things and how them are going to end up and treat the person with them with.
It can.
But Iceberg is the first man who you wouldn't expect to be ready.
One way or the next.
No, but that man is not a man you would expect for ready for a relationship. Because all the years he been big pimping. Which woman going to come and make him able to say, yo,
but there is one.
Me ready for this. It take a long time because the picture him have on the wall, somebody else have a come in a different frame.
Right.
Because right now it is childhood trauma. So a man might say, yo, I'm not ready for a relationship. But the truth is, him probably can explain the fact that, yo, I suffer some things while I was growing up. And I need to unlearn these things before I can commit to somebody.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
That's a fact. Another thing, enough man now going to admit, a genuine fear of commitment. No, like, because, and that fear take us on a different path.
You know what commitment in the eyes of men.
Totally different from what it is for women.
That too, commitment for women. Commitment for women is a wedding day.
It's an event.
I never say a marriage. It's a wedding day.
Yeah, man. Because it's an event.
That is, if it don't have a wedding day, it don't end up being the story of commitment. Commitment to a man is an extremely wide word. Not big word, wide word.
The scope, you might understand what I mean.
Because if you understand commitment to anything and you put it with another human being who is not your child or your parent,
right?
You're committed to your family, you're committed to your job, you're committed to what you call it? That same growth.
I show you.
Money, but future, whatever.
Right.
But you're saying commitment to you, all of a sudden, you know, that one person is as big as all the other things on the other side of the scale.
Just to simplify. Just to simplify. We have
if them come to take it.
Women always ask, like, yo, why you not just support a different team? You support Arsenal all your life. Why you still support Arsenal?
So I get personal in the hand.
Because I'm my side. Alright, let me not use that.
No, carry on. No, go ahead.
But that's how men are. Remember,
I'm not ready for that relationship.
At decades, Liverpool never there, you never stop supporting.
No, the Premier League,
but you never stop supporting.
Right.
You know what I mean? You stick to them and your team.
And you know my side is like in the sewer. And
Rodney is right now suffering with his team.
Yeah.
But he has celebrated with his team.
And me still a drink out that drink out that red cup in spite of the fact
a tree, red side
all our teams
they're just rubbish.
It's the same thing with your barber.
Yeah.
When I want to say, alright, this is my barber.
Alright, but here what?
And them girls they come in like Halle Baba.
That's the thing. Commitment, as Rodney say, is a broad spectrum it depends. You understand me? It can go down different channels. When a man say fear of commitment, right? It's the long-term obligation to one, generally speaking, to an individual.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Who has the ability to reconstitute your life if they change your commitment.
Right.
You remember I said to you, everything that you commit to can be on one side of the scale.
Right.
And our biggest problem is not so much the commitment to the one person, but the fact that this one person on the other side can tip the scale and remove and replace everything on the other side.
That's a very important point because
that our makes up most man.
When you mention a while ago, like a football team, a barber, right? Commitment to support a football team.
Completely different from a relationship.
Vastly, it's not even the same game.
Yeah.
You understand me?
You will always support Arsenal, win or lose. If you're not always support them, you should sleep with everybody on the avenue.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the other side of commitment or fear of commitment is along the line of a loss of freedom.
Right.
Because here it is now, again, you fear the long-term obligation.
This
right?
personal. This personal?
No.
No?
No, not at all.
Because I never had that fear.
Oh, cool. At points I have feared the long-term obligation. But me married now for this year I'm gonna make what, 12? No, lie. 12 years, yeah, this year I'm gonna make 12.
Bro, edit that part there.
No, man, enough edit. My wife know how that go.
Bro, no, it's not your wife, bro. I just want 150 mad women to say.
Even remember how long he married?
He didn't remember.
That man, a good man. I'm alright. Other than me married to over the blood. Yeah.
You married 11, 12 or 13 years, something like that.
From 2013 we married. You know, point is, I make it, is the long-term commitment, long-term obligation, and the loss of freedom. But it's not just that. Hear what now. You are committing yourself to one woman. Yes? Knowing fully well that every day you wake and go up on the road, you're going to see other women that may catch your eye.
Right.
For whom you may lust, fantasize, engage in conversation, whether intentionally or otherwise.
Intellectually or otherwise.
Intellectually or otherwise.
Yeah.
Right? So you say, yo, John Star, then if me, I stick to the red cup here. Right?
I'm more so on green cup. More
the blue cup. The green cup, they look nice. So the blue cup, you know, so.
Yeah. But now make him finishing point.
But hold on. Now, I'm not excusing it, you know. All I'm saying is sometimes it is a fear. When I'm saying we're not ready, it's a fear of commitment. You understand me? And the producer just ball up about exclusivity a while ago. And there is also that too.
Right. Because sometimes that's the fear.
It's not the commitment.
That's one of the fear that you are facing.
It's not the commitment that people fear of.
The fear of exclusivity. Because
the fact that team is an Arsenal supporter, which that by itself is a totally different.
Questionable decision.
He watches other football teams,
right,
that are not Arsenal.
Right.
And him like the game, him like the way the team that they play. As a matter of fact, him rate them defense,
Right.
It don't mean that he's suddenly no longer an Arsenal supporter.
And this is where I'm going.
You are committed to have one wife, and you're committed to your wife.
Right.
Good. The world continues to exist.
Indeed.
So, where I'm going with it.
You understand now,
As an Arsenal supporter, I'm also a Barcelona supporter. As you can imagine, most people who support Arsenal, them support Arsenal for the style of play. Them play a particular way, a movement there, the tiki-taka. Barcelona do the same thing. Personally, for me, that's why I support the team.
But Wenger never play tiki-taka football. But anyway, we're not going to...
Wenger ball is a different thing, man.
Yeah, which is what I'm saying. So
it was beautiful to watch.
Right.
You know what I mean? So at them little thing that made me enjoy
and this is one of the reasons we
team.
Don't keep football conversation when you start with
the Arsenal supporter. We're going to move past it now.
Yeah?
We're going to move past it now. So
abuse over time.
Arsenal supporter, I also support Barcelona.
Yeah.
You think somebody can look for me today in an Arsenal jersey, and then tomorrow me in a Barcelona jersey, and them say you sell out? I could care zero.
Or that you have commitment issues.
I have commitment issues.
You are committed to the two.
I'm committed. Because both of them on my side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about. It's hard to draw a parallel now because
if you had a choice,
the same thing.
If you had a choice now to say exclusivity.
But
Arsenal, you don't go.
It's back to the Arsenal all the time.
Here you go.
However, if Arsenal play Barcelona, I go cheer for Arsenal.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm making.
No.
But if
I think
whenever I go away, I go with this
we move on.
Yeah.
No matter of our category of what I call we said earlier, preference and choices. Right? Just to say, I'm not ready. A lot of times, Zine, step back a little. I don't believe we, as a human race, generally speaking, have been raised to speak the unfiltered truth on the one hand, but to also receive the unfiltered truth on the other hand. Right?
Facts.
So when a man say, I'm not ready for a relationship, right? It is down to, I'm not ready for a relationship with you, Miss So-and-so. And him just say him not ready as a soft letdown.
And that is oftentimes the perception.
That's one. The other side of it is, or another part to it is, I'm not ready for a relationship because I want to enjoy my single life some more.
And I know you're not willing for us to do both at the same time.
That, my friend, is an unfair assumption.
Right?
Well, all right.
But I'm going to go into that a little bit.
No. It's,
all right.
That's the general.
Right.
I understand exactly.
And let me just marry this other point with that same one enjoy the single life.
I like that he's gonna marry them together.
Single life.
Yeah, I'm afraid of. I'm not ready for a relationship. But let's marry this point.
Marry the single life.
Yeah.
Let's go.
With a desire to explore other options. You understand me? So the assumption where Rodney say some of these women will make. Zine or a man make why I'm saying I'm not ready because she not gonna accept certain type of behavior, right? Is that remember now, generally still the program say it's supposed to be relationship supposed to include two people exclusive to each other. You understand me?
I'm an animal. God didn't make me that way.
Most of us that way, but we'll discuss that another.
We'll talk about the programming.
We talk about this one, the bunch already, we talk about this about.
Yeah, so we're talk about the programming. You understand what I say? So we make certain assumptions. Because most men assume say, I'm not going to them. Most men assume say, women want relationships.
One.
They more than one relationship. Them not just want fuck and have a good time. Most man make the assumption there.
Right.
See? Me feel say, that assumption they're really not wrong. You understand me? But because you don't know every woman, you have to now inquire. Find out what she wants. Because you may very well be surprised, whether pleasantly or unpleasantly. But you may very well be surprised. Say, she really don't want David in and she just want peace of you.
You might also be surprised to know that she's okay with you out there as long as she remains
respected and STI free. Sorry.
That the one you're committed to,
yes,
while you don't need to be exclusively hers.
Right.
It's called having your cake
and eating
eating it too.
No, it's called having your cake and eating.
Hey yo. Hey yo.
Eating your cake and having it.
That nigga get excited when the thing about eating is my.
That's really the cake.
But
no matter what I cannot enjoy. No matter
we did hit a solid point just now.
Dirty man.
We hit a solid point. And the point is, we just manage to differentiate and separate. We can show you, says, yo, commitment there, so.
Exclusivity.
And exclusivity there, so. Two totally different items. And two completely different elements.
Where do you think?
No, completely different thing about it.
Where do you think men fall generally when they say, I'm not ready for a relationship?
No. It's about the commitment or the exclusivity.
What is relationship equal to?
But
definitely commitment.
No.
And generally, exclusivity.
I don't think men are real man now. We don't know about some other man. We are not afraid to commit.
No.
It is man's DNA, man's psyche to be committed.
Yep.
But to what?
No. To be committed.
Okay, right.
This barber.
Where's the produce? We're not wired to be exclusive.
You see barber and Arsenal.
Right.
While women might sit down and just think it's some flippant type of reference.
Trivial,
the kind of commitment.
So understand.
No. The kind of commitment it takes is why women have sat down for decades and said, I don't get it.
Because they think it's so trivial.
This man can't get up out of bed by a Saturday morning at 10 o'clock for do X. But at 7:15, every single, they don't get it.
Yeah.
We were born
when daylight
committed.
At 6:30 the ball game. At 6:30 the ball game starts.
Why think we've been hunters and we've been protectors and that takes an innate commitment.
Absolutely.
Exclusivity is a concept. And that is where. That's why Solomon they never have these problems. The biblical men never had these problems. Nobody came to them to sell them new age. It's me or nothing. That never exists. That's not what a kingdom is. And we born to create kingdoms. Different kingdoms, of course, because we can all rule the throne at the same time. But it's not commitment, Manfreda.
Neither can we all say there's a one-size-fits-all for every man.
Unless you use Chinese condom.
Hey, well, so this is just continue.
No. I wasn't going to go much further because while
none of our arguments is one size fits all.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right. So because while there's innate or an innate connection to commitment, maybe it's every man have that. Maybe it's bar none.
Yeah.
See?
Right.
Even the worthless have worthless.
Right? Right. Which is why I'm asking the question, commitment to what? You understand me? But then you say it is the concept, well, not so much concept, but the principle of commitment that is in all of us as men.
Yeah.
Not saying that women don't have it either, we're just talking about men. See?
We're trying to make them understand us. So
exclusivity is something that we're not all built for. The desire, Zane, to be exclusive is something that is learned.
Imposed.
Learned.
No, it's not that imposed takes away from both can exist. Right?
It is a social construct.
Right? Willfully
And there are arguments to support the benefits of exclusivity. And I subscribe to many of those arguments. Particularly if you raise a family and you want a certain amount of stability in your household. See? Not saying that you can't have a stable household while the father is not exclusively the mother's.
let me just tell you what exclusivity does for you as a man.
Yeah.
It means that something else must suffer.
Yeah.
Right. So
That-
when it's a desire or yeah.
If you are exclusive to your mother, your wife, girlfriend, whatever, friends, everything else, something is going to lose. If you're exclusive to exclusivity creates exclusion. There's no way exclusivity gets bigger and inclusivity also gets bigger. It doesn't work. And that is where when you ask a man to center his mind on the idea of exclusivity and cover it in the shroud of commitment, you're asking him to walk blindfolded into something every day and believing that he's heading where he's going.
On that note, some wedding vows say forsaking all others. which plays out your point.
Who put that bullshit? Who put that in a vow?
Which plays out your
You
point.
didn't say it when you get married?
Never did.
Oh.
Because me and my wife, we sat down and we made our own vows.
Right.
That's what I say.
Breakfast in all others.
Right?
Five staking. Yeah.
Right? But they on that point of other things suffering is a real point. You understand me? If you are exclusive to something, other things I forgot it. But what it means therefore, and something where we can probably discuss in it's a different topic, right? As a life matter. I think you have to treat your life like a business. Just like how you have to treat your relationship like a business. You need to do a cost-benefit analysis. You need to take time to review, see what works, what doesn't work, what is your aim, how are all the activities that you are currently pursuing.
Restructure.
Then you have to restructure. Sometimes you have to hire and fire.
Separate with a partner because your partner is
downsize. Right.
Your partner is eating away at the value of the entity. You must separate from this partner.
Right. So
I totally understand.
Yeah. So you have to take things serious.
Yeah.
But especially when it comes to relationships, because we derive so much pleasure from our relationships. We just go along for the ride and we have a really good time and hear whatever. And you're not necessarily thinking, all right, hold on a second. We need to get back to like a boring part. You understand me? And properly look on how it really go and what is making sense, what is not making sense. Should we continue? Have an open, honest conversation.
Maybe we need to pivot.
There are two things, man.
Maybe we need to bring in a support
There are
system.
two things that mean the same. And neither of the two, well, for me, there are just two things that don't work. Exclusivity. Am I willing to be with you and you alone? Yes.
That's a willingness.
Within this frame that is us.
Right.
This frame that is us cannot be the frame for the entire world and how we exist within it. Compromise. I just told you that exclusivity runs at all times exclusion. Yeah. Compromise means that in order for you to have something, I have to give up something.
Right.
Let us share moments. Let us not compromise. I don't need to feel I've given up something and lost something. Any day we feel that way, we start to compromise, we start to have a problem. When you ask a man about a commitment, he's willing to commit. It is exclusivity that helps to make things like compromise get legs and life. And his man start to say, yo, me no think me.
You feel it. You start feel claustrophobic now.
So
the wall him start.
Hold on. So I'm committed to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm not gonna have the exclusive idea that you think we should boil grass and only drink mint tea. No.
Gotcha. So we dissect a few things. We'll go through commitment versus exclusivity. We'll go through the reasons why a man might not be willing to say, yo, I'm gonna be with you right now.
The big buckets. So since I do a recap, then the big buckets will be emotional, practical, and preferential.
Right, but I mean, at the same time, fair. So you're wrapped down up in the big buckets.
Yeah.
I'd like for us to take a quick second for Big Up Ideas Evolution Studios, because man, I tell you brother.
Oh, see them there?
Yeah, scan the QR code right there. So Ideas Evolution always give us the best experience. The sound quality nice.
And they're committed to helping us produce an excellent product.
They're committed to quality.
Which thus far has been absolutely internationally branded and put forward, produced exclusively and committed to an all-inclusive acceptance of great men.
Hey, all right. You hear what the man sound like that?
Yeah, what I mean?
You need to snip that and turn it in an ad. So just scan the QR code right there, so if you want to book it.
If you want the best, you can
exclusive.
get it.
Committed experience.
Ideas Evolution. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
We're basically at the end of our episode, but I wanted us to, especially on a topic like this, I think our parting words would be most pointed today specifically. So let's start with Rodney.
Parting words. Men must, as best possible, try to know who they are. And if you know who you are, I'm not talking about knowing who you are for the rest of your life in this moment, but understand your foundation and what kind of structure you at least want to have. It makes it easier for you to know who you want to be in your life along the way of your journey. And if that is friend, family, blah, blah, but you come to this woman in the structure, if she's not going to make you view commitment in a certain kind of way, then maybe you need to reassess it, and also understand the difference between the commitment you're giving and whether you want exclusivity to be the part of the structure you're raising. Other than that, but one must first start. You can't add people in your life if you don't know your fucking self. It don't make sense.
Talk to the camera. Ladies, when a man says he's not ready, he's either healing, hustling, or just happy to be single.
The 3H.
High heart talking.
The 3H.
Ladies.
Bitches.
Ladies. When a man says he's not ready for a relationship, he's either healing, hustling, or happy to be single. Be happy and take it as clarity and not rejection. Clarity, not rejection. See it? Because the truth is, the right man for you won't need convincing. He'll be ready.
You never have an age to replace clarity.
No.
Okay. Honest.
I'm trying to add on what each of you said. There is no one size fits all. You know what I mean? So ladies have to understand, say, there is going to be a trial and error process. And not because you feel like this is the one. If he doesn't feel like he is the one, that means you have a problem. That means you need to figure it out and probably move on and find somebody else, respectfully. So, I mean, in everything, we should try to understand and establish value, and value. The funny thing about value, it must be agreed. So you can feel say you worth $5 or you worth 5 years, but me decide say you're worth 2 minutes, and we have a problem. So I have to suck up somewhere in between this because once it go over the 2 minutes for me, I'm going to say, oh, yeah, overstay your time.
Yeah.
Demand versus...
Yeah, I understand the message. So respectfully, the man them for understand who them is live them own life.
Right.
And nobody tell you what you worth and what you want in a life or what you should do.
Yeah.
Stick to your guns, understand what you're about, and live your life. Make sure you're happy with your life.
Read Songs of Solomon and Lowly George Bush reasoning. Hey, yo, yellow.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Unscripted. Thank you so much for sticking and staying. May I open to subscribe. When you turn on the notification bell now so you can see what I go on anytime we go so whoops and drop a new episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So until next week, give thanks to life.